Alright, so I have here a GoTrax GoTrax electric scooter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to take off this wheel here. So I'll show you guys how to do that. You need some Allen keys. This is going to be metric. So you need to take the covers off the two sides. Let's see, I think the bolt heads for that is a 3mm Allen head. Yeah, 3mm. So first I'm going to loosen them up first before I take them out. Okay, 4 loosened. So there's 4 of them. See, you see 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. Sometimes this one doesn't feel like it, but some of these they have Loctite on them, so sometimes they feel really hard. If it does, make sure that when you put your tool into the head, into the bolt, make sure that the tool goes all the way in. Otherwise, you will strip your bolt. So, for example, it comes off already. So that's 4 of them, right? Let me oops. Show you. So the bolt head, right? And once the head goes in, make sure the tool goes into the head. Make sure it goes all the way in, and it's nice and square. You don't want it to be like kind of cocked over a little bit, and especially when you're putting a load on it, force on it. You have to make sure that it's all the way in and nice and square. Otherwise, it will strip the head on your bolt. And you don't want to have to go to the store and go to the hardware store and buy some more bolts. So that's one side. Later on, we're going to be taking off these nuts, and these nuts, let's see, I believe they're 18mm. Yeah, so it's 18mm. Let's do the side. Usually, when you loosen it, you only need to loosen it about a quarter turn should be enough. Oops. And make sure it's all the way in. Okay, this side's off. So this side has the wire. This is what connects to the motor, controls the motor. You just disconnect these two and basically just pull them apart like so, right there. And now you could basically loosen up the two nuts. So they're both 18mm. So one side I'm going to use a box wrench. Other side, because of this cable here, I guess you could slip a box wrench through that too, so that works as well. Anyways, I only have one box wrench that's 18mm, so my other one is a flare nut wrench. I don't recommend using a open, because the open one basically only bites on 2 corners, and if this thing is on tight, it could strip. So on a box one, and especially this type, this is a 6-point, and that's what I recommend you using, a 6-point. Don't use the 12-point. 12 points don't work very well. Always get 6 points. And so is my flare nut wrench here. The flare nut wrench is let's see, it's 5 points, I believe. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So that's still better than than using a open end when it's only 2 points, and better than a 12 point. There's a 12 point because it has, you know, it has double the amount of points. So when it makes contact here, it's not quite as it's not fully engaged. There's a little open space that causes it to strip and round up your nut. So basically, go counterclockwise. Do that for both sides. Actually, with this one, you don't need two. One should be good because you don't need to. Oh man, that's tight. You don't need to hold one side. It's like on certain things, like sometimes on a bicycle wheel, you have to hold both sides. But with this, you only need to hold one side. So actually, only one is enough. So I can feel that this thing has Loctite on it. So it's real difficult right now. Let's see if I can get this other side off. I can feel that Loctite is real hard. Let's see, let me try to hold the screw in better place. Oh Jesus! Oh man, that's tight. Whew. Yeah, it definitely has Loctite on it. You can feel it when it's Loctite. Once you loosen it, if there's Loctite on there, it still feels like there's resistance when you're loosening it. The nut doesn't spin freely because usually if it doesn't have any Loctite, once you loosen it, the nut will just spin freely and comes off. But in this case, it's not doing that. It's actually I can feel a lot of resistance still. See, I can't spin it with my hand, or barely anyways. I have to really hold it, clamp it down, and this thing doesn't really come out because this head right here is bigger than the nut. So basically, that's all you can do is do that. Let's look at this. You can actually see the Loctite here. See that stuff right there? That's Loctite right there. So good idea to get some type of wire brush and brush that off. But anyways, so the nuts on and off on both sides. I could slide this off now, like so. Let's set the scooter to the side a little bit. Let's work on the wheel. So there it is. So the wheel has these little washer tabs, and they actually line up with this slot in there. So the washer tab here goes on the inside, whereas the nut goes on the outside. Okay, so that's taking off the wheel. So my purpose of doing this is to what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take this plate off because I want to deburr, or actually I'm gonna use it. I shouldn't say deburr. It's really deburred, but I'm gonna use a deburring tool. So this is a deburring tool right here. Usually when you're machining metal or cutting metal, the edge that gets cut, it always has a burr, which is a sharp edge. You know, it's like a razor sharp edge. So this tool is used to basically shave that off. You know, it basically shaves that edge off. So it rounds out the edge basically. So it doesn't, you know, it's nice and smooth. It doesn't cut you. It doesn't cut your hand. So I'm going to use this tool here to basically round the edge of where the valve stem is. The valve is right here, because basically, you know, the GoTrax, they give you this little hose end that could attach on here, but it's really, you know, it's really shitty thing. It's like it doesn't work very well. GoTrax should have, from the factory, they should have opened this bigger so that way you could put like an air chuck on an air compressor on here. And I did that actually. On here you actually see it. I did that, and these things come in different sizes. So I did that with a smaller one. Because this one's too big and it doesn't really go in very well. But the smaller one was able to go in here, but it's still not enough. I want to open it up more, so I'm going to use this bigger one because this bigger one has a bigger radius. So it's going to shave this down even wider. But for me to do that, I actually had to take this plate off basically on the wheel. That's what I'm going to do now. Let's see. So these ones, I believe these ones are 2.5 millimeters in size. When you do this, because the head is so small, these probably has Loctite on them, and it's going to be very tight. it might strip the head. If that happens, you're gonna have to use like a what do they call those? Easy out or whatever, something like that, to take them out. So let's see. Let me see how tight these are. Again, make sure that the wrench, the key is all the way in. It sits in nice and square before you start to put any pressure on it. Okay, so it definitely has, I can feel it. It definitely has a Loctite in there. So since this is a 5-bolt pattern, you want, when you loosen and tighten things, you'll want to do it in a star pattern. So there, well, basically across, you go across, 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 and across. So basically it's a star pattern. So some of these bolt heads here, I can see they're kind of worn already. This one is, and this one is. So I'm not sure, and this one sort of is too. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it out without stripping it, because it's already kind of semi-stripped a little bit. So I'm going to wiggle it and get it in there as much as I can. If not, I'm going to have to basically drill these out with the easy out and replace these bolt heads. Oh, come on. Oh yeah. Nope, man. You hear that pop? That's because it was on there a little bit too tight, I think, for its size. And you know, and also the Loctite doesn't help either as far as loosening it up. Oh, come on. Oh man, this one really. Oh, nope, this one's stripped. So that one is stripped. I thought it loosened because I heard it, but it was actually the bolt head that's stripped. Yep, so it's stripped. I can't take this one out. God damn it. I knew that was gonna happen. So that, let's go to this one. This one might be the same. So I might make I'm gonna have to make a second video and show you guys how to take this out if that does happen. So basically they tighten this thing too much at the factory for such a small size. That's why the head stripped, you know, was kind of stripped to begin with. So that one turned. That's good. And when you do take these out, even though you were able to get it out, you look at the head and it's kind of damaged and it's not, you know, fully intact. You should replace it anyways, because the next time you have to take this off, it's probably going to strip on you. So it's better to do it to replace it before it strips on you, because that's a lot easier on you. Otherwise, it's just a lot of work to remove this. Oh, come on. Oh, oof, man, that hurt. Oh, that was definitely over tightened, but the head didn't strip. And those ones that are so far that has that somewhat of a damaged head before I even touched it, those ones were over tightened. That's why the head was damaged. So basically, they're tightening. It should have got to the correct torque point and stop, but they just kept on going, and it was too much, and that's why it kind of damaged the head a little bit, stripped the head a little bit. This one should be okay. This one the head looks okay. Just a matter of how much Loctite it has in it. I already loosened that one. Okay, so they're all loosened except for that one that was stripped right here. That's loosened. That's loosened. This one's loosened. And this one's loosened. All right. So this one I need to get the tool to unstrip this. So let's do that. And let's see. Let's make another video. This one's getting kind of long, I guess. All right. So that's how you take out the wheel and at least loosen up the bolts for now. Okay. Stay tuned for the next one. Continuation.